Grammarly just launched 9 AI agents that'll grade your paper, check if it's plagiarized, and detect if it was written by AI itself, all at the same time. For free. Well, free-ish. It's included with their existing plan, which is somehow worse because now there's no excuse for you to have terrible writing. The new Docs platform, and no, not Google Docs, Grammarly Docs, because apparently we needed just one more Docs, comes with agents like the Reader's Reactions bot that predicts what questions your professor will most likely have. Spoiler alert, it's probably, did you actually write this yourself? There's also a citation finder that automatically generates sources for your claims, which is perfect for when you need 3 peer-reviewed papers to back you up into why you had to turn your assignment in late. My favorite though is the AI grader, which uses publicly available information about your instructor to predict the grade. So now an AI is stalking your professor's LinkedIn to figure out if they're a hard grader or not. The head of Grammarly for Education says these tools help students develop real skills, and by real skills she means prompt engineering. They also launched an AI detector to catch AI-generated text. So Grammarly's AI will write your paper, grade your paper, and then rat you out for using AI. It's like hiring a hitman who's a detective and also a snitch. Google just dropped the Pixel 10 lineup and shocker, it's packed with AI features. And thank God for that, because I was starting to think that Google's forgetting about this whole AI thing. The new Tensor G5 chip powers something called Magic Queue, which basically stalks you across all your apps to be helpful. Friend texts you asking about your flight? Well, Magic Queue pulls the itinerary from Gmail and suggests sharing it. One tap, no more scrolling through emails like some kind of caveman. It's either incredibly convenient or mildly terrifying depending on your privacy settings. They also announced a really cool editing feature where you can just edit photos simply by typing what you want to change. No more tapping buttons, sliding sliders like some kind of peasant. Just type, remove the glare, and bam, it's gone. Or make it look like I didn't take this with a potato, and it's done. They're even adding those creative edits so everyone pretends that they don't use, like party hats, sunglasses, the works. They've also baked in live voice translation and somehow keeps the speaker's original voice. Integrated Notebook LM for the 3 people who know what it is. And yes, that feature you've all been waiting for, you can finally hum into your phone and it'll turn it into music. Will any of this work as advertised? Who knows? But at least Google's finally making AI features that solve actual problems instead of, just showing off. Though I'm still waiting for the feature that stops me texting my ex at 2 a.m. Google. Next year, I'm waiting. MIT researchers just delivered the kind of news that makes venture capitalists reach for their anxiety medication. Turns out 95% of companies aren't getting any return on investment on their AI. 95%. That's nearly a failure rate that's more of an extinction event. The successful 5% figured out 3 revolutionary strategies: buying things that actually work, putting them where they belong, and making sure they actually connect the stuff together. Groundbreaking insights like don't build a rocket ship when all you need is a bicycle. Meanwhile, the Magnificent Seven's tech stocks now make up 34% of the S&P 500 value, which is concerning when you realize the dot-com bubble peaked at just 15%. We're basically playing Jenga with the entire stock market, and Nvidia keeps adding more blocks on top. OpenAI's ChatGPT got 5 billion visits in July alone, proving that people will absolutely hammer any AI service whatsoever as long as it's free. The adoption rate is apparently faster than personal computers or the internet, which sounds impressive until you realize that 40% of Americans using AI mostly means asking ChatGPT to write passive-aggressive emails. Bank of America dropped $4 billion on AI to help junior bankers prepare for meetings faster, which is great because now they can stress about different things. And Sam Altman, the guy who started this whole mess, is warning about the market overheating, which is like the iceberg warning the Titanic about structural integrity. But hey, when the bubble pops, at least we'll have some really expensive, really nice data centers to convert into the world's most overqualified Bitcoin mining operations. Do you remember when ChatGPT accidentally let Google index some shared chats and Elon Musk tweeted, "Grok for the win"? Well, it turns out Grok interpreted "for the win" as "for the whole internet," because it's now done exactly the same thing, except worse. While ChatGPT users at least opted into making their chats discoverable, Grok users just hit share thinking they were sending a link to one person. Instead, they were publishing to Google's permanent record. Forbes counted over 370,000 indexed conversations and counting, including recipes for Class A drugs, DIY bombs, instructions, and get this, a detailed plan for assassinating Elon Musk, using his own chatbot to plan his own theoretical murder. That's now searchable on Google. And it gets even better. Marketers discovered this goldmine and are now creating fake Grok conversations to manipulate search results. So not only are your secrets exposed, they're competing for SEO rankings with spam. This is your monthly reminder that AI chatbots are basically public diaries with a share button, though at least when you share on social media, you actually know that you're doing it. And Google is rolling out AI mode to 180 countries after keeping it exclusive to the US, UK, and India, like some kind of search engine country club just opens its doors to the riffraff. For those wondering what AI mode is, imagine Perplexity but with more money. It takes your question, searches multiple sites behind the scene, then gives you one answer with citations that you'll never actually check, eliminating the exhausting task of, choosing what link to click. The base version is free, which in Google terms means you're the product, but Ultra subscribers paying $250 a month, yes, $250, get the privilege of having AI do things that your normal AI can't do, like book dinner reservations. So you can finally feel like you're someone. Google is also personalizing results using your search history. So if you've been looking up divorce lawyers and sad movies, it might suggest, a nice quiet restaurant for one. They've made it impossible to miss in the interface. I mean, it's right there and right there. Like a friend who stands way too close when they're talking to you. YouTube is running an experiment where they're secretly enhancing select shots with what they desperately want you to know is traditional machine learning. Not generative AI, God no, that would be bad. This is traditional, like grandma's machine learning. When pressed for details, Google spokesperson actually said they're using image enhancement technology, which is like saying your car runs on movement creation systems. Thanks for clearing that up, Google. They're apparently using this totally not AI to unblur, denoise, and improve clarity in videos, which coincidentally is exactly what generative AI does, but with a different hat on. The best part, multimedia artist called Mr. Bravo spent hours running his videos through an actual VCR to get authentic 80s aesthetic, only to have YouTube's algorithm look at it and go, great, let me fix that for you. Music YouTuber Rhett Charlie, who has over 700,000 subscribers, discovered his face was being smooth like a Ken doll, while his friend Rick Beato, with 5 million subscribers, is getting the same treatment. Charlie's worried viewers will think he's using AI or deepfakes, which is ironic because YouTube is literally deepfaking his face to look less real while insisting they're making it look more real. One commenter suggested that YouTube is actually doing this to train us on getting used to the AI look so we eventually think it's normal. But hey, that's just a conspiracy theory. Unlike Google secretly modifying your content without your permission. That's not a conspiracy theory. Google just scored a $10 million cloud deal with Meta over 6 years. Why, you ask? Well, it appears that Meta needs more compute power for its AI ambitions, and Google needs not to be in third place behind AWS and Azure anymore. Meta has been spreading their bets across the cloud providers like a paranoid gambler at a casino. They've got deals with Amazon, Microsoft, and now Google. Zuckerberg said they're planning to spend hundreds of billions on AI infrastructure, which explains why they're suddenly friends with everyone who owns a server. The timing is interesting since Google just landed OpenAI as a client too, proving that in the AI gold rush, everyone's eventually going to end up paying rent to the same 3 landlords. Meta's even trying to offload $2 billion in data center assets to help fund this infrastructure binge, which is the tech equivalent of selling all your furniture just to buy a gaming PC. Google Cloud posted 32% revenue growth the last quarter, almost entirely from companies desperately trying to build AI before their competitors do. At this rate, the entire tech industry is going to be 3 cloud providers charging each other billions to run AI models that generate slightly different recipes for banana bread while insisting theirs is sentient. Google's AI now uses 33 times less energy than last year, which means either they've achieved a miracle of engineering or last year's version was basically a nuclear reactor with a chat interface in front. Each query apparently uses the same energy as watching a TV for 9 whole seconds, though I'm not sure if that includes the energy I burn when I reach for the remote to switch from an ad. The numbers are extremely precise though. 0.24 watt hours of energy, 0.03 grams of CO2, and exactly 5 drops of water. Not 4, not 6, but 5 drops. Like they got some tiny little accountant tracking every molecule. They did this with the help of their mixture of experts model, which only activates parts of the AI that are needed. Kind of like how your brain only uses 10% of its capacity, except that's a myth and this actually works. The system can reduce computational needs by up to 100 times, which is Google's favorite type of number, big, round, and impossible to verify. They've also made compact models and custom chips that apparently love working together, like a silicon rom-com where the hardware and software finally get each other. Now, Google wants everybody to use their measurement system because nothing says we care about the environment like peer pressuring your competition into the specific way of counting carbon molecules. And that's it this week. If you want to stay up to date with AI news, hit subscribe and like this video.